Today we will be simplifying expressions using the laws of exponents. But before we can simplify expressions using laws of exponents, we need to know what they are. So as you see, I've created this tree diagram. So on your paper you can create it with me if you need to. Pause up the video. There are three different things that we do with exponents. We multiply, we divide, and we can have a power to a power. So for the first one that I'm going to look at, I have 6 to the power of 6 times 6 to the power of 3. And if I wrote this out, remember 6 to the power of 6 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it means 6 times 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 6. And instead of writing all of that out, I can simply say this is 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's simply 6 to the 9th power. That's simplified. So I'm not even going to put an equal sign in there because it does equal that, but that's not like its final thing. I could stick that in the calculator and even get a single number. But simplifying it makes it simpler. For this bottom one, I'm going to do the same thing. So a to the second power is simply a times a times a, 3, 4, 5. See, I count them as I write them. Which really gives me a to the 7th power. So if you realize, the fast trick, instead of writing out all these a's and all these 6's, is that we simply add the powers. But there's a special rule. It's if, or actually not, sorry guys, I'm not feeling too good. Let's write this. Same bases, and the bases are the numbers here. These are your bases, as you remember from learning about exponents. These are your bases, these are your exponents and your powers. So same bases, add the exponents. But it's key, they have to be the same bases. Like if this is a to the 2nd times 6 to the 6th, I can't add those exponents. It just has to stay that way. I can't simplify it. All right, division. This example here, when I write this out, it would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 1, 2, 3. And 8 divided by 8 makes a 1. 8 divided by 8 makes a 1. 8 divided by 8 makes a 1. So I'm left with 8 to the power of 2. For this one, d to the 7th over d, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 d's, all divided by, remember, this does not mean 0. This means d to the 1. I'm going to line him up over here. So d divided by d is going to give me 1, and I'm left with d to the 6th. So if I'm dividing exponents, and again, notice the bases have to be the same. It wouldn't work if they were different bases. So same bases. Actually, I should use a different color here. Let me use the blue. I should use blue on the bottom. Same, this is the rule, same bases, subtract the bottom exponent from the top. So it's the top minus the bottom. Alright? The next one is a power to a power. And it would look like this if I wrote it out. 3 to the 2nd is this. 3 times 3. But I need 3 of those. So it would look like this. And what do I really have there? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So really that is 3 to the 6th power. And for this one, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 and I need that to the second power, so I need those twice. So what do I end up with? I end up with n to the 8. So this time I actually multiplied. So if I have a power to a power, same bases, multiply the powers, or the exponents. Exponents and powers are the same thing. All right, so those are your rules. Now we're going to start to look at some together, and then you're going to do some on your own. They won't be this easy, of course, because that's not our class. So here is, I should have covered some of these up so you can't see them all. So we'll very quickly cover them up. I use pretty blue. So we only see one at a time so we don't get too confused. All right, so for our first example, we are multiplying, there's the bell, we are multiplying this 5x to the 8, y to the 4th, by 2x to the 4th, y to the 4th. So the first thing I want to do is I want to do same bases. Well, this is a 5 and this is a 2. So the only thing I can do with the 5 and the 2 is times them, because that's what it tells me to do. Now this is x to the 8th. Let me use different color for effect. 8 to the 8 times x to the 4. And then this is y to the 4 times y. And remember what that means. That means simply y to the 1. So 5 times 2, I can do that. That gives me 10. And remember on your tree diagram, when you're multiplying powers, we really add them. So 8 plus 4 gives me 12, so this becomes x to the 12. And since I'm multiplying these two, they have the same bases, I add my two powers. 4 plus 1 is 5. So I get 10, x to the 12, y to the 5. And that's as simple as I can get it. I can't do anything else because I don't know what x or y is. Let's look at our second one. Oh, that's because I didn't have it set up right ahead of time. This one is a division one. So I'm going to look at the same things again. So I'm going to look at my numbers first. So this is 2 divided by 8. This one is y to the 3 divided by y. Remember, that means y to the 1. And then this is z to the 9. I'll put a funky z in there so it doesn't look like my 2 over there. Divided by z to the 2. So 2 divided by 8 is simply 1/4. That's all I can do is simplify that fraction. I have the same bases. I'm dividing. So remember, we learned on the front, what do we need to do? Subtract the 2. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So that becomes y to the 2. And then I want to, since same bases, I'm going to do 9 minus 2, which gives me z to the 7. And that's as simple as that one can get. All right, now we're going to do our last one together, and then you're going to try some on your own. And this last one is a power to a power. Since those are the 3 we learned. So this means, I'm going to stick with my colors, so there's the number. I need 9 squared, so that's 9 squared. I need p squared, and then I need q to the 7 squared. So q to the 7 squared. And I'm going to put him separately because he had another exponent with him already. So 9 squared I can do. 9 times 9 is 81. P squared, I just keep it P squared. And Q to the 7 squared, remember we just learned we need to multiply those powers. 7 times 2 is 14. So it becomes Q to the 14. And that's our final simplified expression. That's as simple as it gets. So what I would like you to do next is pause up the video, write down these 3 examples, and try them on your own. I'm going to show you the answers in about, 10 seconds. So make sure you pause up the video, copy them down, work through them, use your tree diagram if you have to, and then check your answers with me. So here's the first one. When I broke it up, it looks like this. And then this is the simplified expression. Here's the second one. And here's the simplified expression. Here's the third one. And here's the simplified expression. Hopefully you got all 3 of those right. We're going to work on some more tomorrow in class. And I will see you then.